Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. I'm Troy Grimmond.
And I'm Brand Farsco. Thanks for tuning in. The Trailblazers baseball team got their first series win of the season against WAC opponent California State University, Sacramento, last weekend. Utah Tech had home field advantage and took control early, winning Friday's game 9-7. Sacramento answered back on Saturday, winning that game 4-9. Utah Tech secured the overall win after defeating them yet again 5-4. The Trailblazers are set to play their next three-game series against Seattle University starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. and will play throughout the weekend.
Blazers softball finishes out the St. Patrick's Day weekend with a series win over Abilene Christian University, bringing their record to 9 wins and 16 losses. With the series win, the Blazers broke an 8-game losing streak, dropping matches to tough opponents such as the University of Santa Barbara and the University of Wisconsin. The team heads to Texas to face off against Stephen F. Austin in a 3-game series this weekend. Softball head coach Randy Simpkins says the team has been focusing on improving pitches. Simpkins expressed that there are multiple factors of pitches being examined in order to improve both pitching and hitting skills.
What we've been doing well, I think we've competed really well. We talk about winning pitches from the last day down at our Santa Barbara tournament through the Abilene Christian. We've been tracking win pitches. Do you win the pitch as a hitter? Are you on time? Did you give us your best swing? Did you swing at strikes? You know, those type of things. And then pitchers, are we winning pitches? Are we throwing quality pitches in great locations? Are we finishing hitters when we're ahead in the count? Are we grinding back into the count if we're behind in the count as pitchers? So I think we've competed really well, and we've done things one pitch at a time very well. Yeah, existing in favorable counts, both offensively and defensively, is probably going to be the biggest thing. For us as pitchers, we always want to be ahead in the count. So we have opportunities to throw pitches that maybe are out of the zone a little bit and have them chase to get out. And then as hitters, we need to exist and do damage in hitters' counts. When we're in a 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, 3-0 type of count, we need to do damage with those swings rather than just put the ball in play. If we do that, I think we're going to be just fine.
After a strong finish to the indoor track and field season, the team prepares for the outdoor season and expresses their goals and passion for the upcoming events.
What are your expectations for yourself as you head into your first outdoor meet of the season?
Well, this is my first outdoor college meet ever, so it's just kind of a first one, so the progress will go from there. So just kind of tomorrow's baseline, or Friday and Saturday baseline. So
are you nervous at all?
Yeah, my training group is super awesome. They're all really good runners, and we all get each other through hard workouts. And then if we get each other through hard workouts, that ultimately means we run well. So they're all really good runners, super supportive, super kind. We have a good time. They make running more enjoyable. Our team goals are always just be better than last year, small improvements, and personal goals were just to have fun. And
I definitely enjoy outdoor more. I just enjoy the longer races. I'm mainly a 100 hurdler anyway, so I like the extra hurdles. And it's just better weather.
I like outdoor. I just like the weather and just it's better.
Track's a full 400.
Yeah.
Not running weird
Not
distances.
200.
I think we've done a really good job this past 3 weeks since indoor finish of getting in outdoor shape. It's kind of what Coach called it. We kind of had a little Hell Week moment where we started running a little bit more just to get ready for the extra 40 meters at the end of that race. So, well, I know for the hurdlers, we're all really wanting big PRs. I know we have a lot of 400 hurdlers, and so that's looking really good this year. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. I think we're really just going to keep trying to hit and chip away at the goals at our school records, just like we did in indoor, just moving that over in the outdoor season race.
I'm looking forward to the full 200 and only running one curve in the 200 instead of two.
Yeah.
Blazers women's golf traveled up to Cedar City to tee off in the SUU Lady T-Bird invite. The Blazers were listed to finish in 10th place, but rallied in the last day of the invite to secure 8th place. Sophomore Jenna Anderson carded an eagle during the contest, and senior Grace Williams shot the lowest of the match with an even par of 72. Women's golf now heads to Georgia to tee off in the Georgia State Invitational March 25th.
The Utah Tech men's golf team is in their final drive of their season. They only have 2 more tournaments for the WAC Golf Championship, which will be played in Payson, Arizona, April 26th through the 28th. Their next tournament, the Stanford Goodwill Tournament, will be played March 28th through the 30th in San Francisco, California. Then the team will travel to California for the UC Santa Barbara Collegiate Invitational, April 7th through the 9th. The last time the Trailblazers played was a month ago, and they finished 13th out of 22 teams in the Arkansas State Lake Las Vegas Intercollegiate Tournament. And that was actually their best overall tournament so far this season. And one thing that I like about this men's team is that they are young. They've got 9 overall players. One's a senior, one's a 5th year, and the rest are sophomore and freshmen. Same with the women's team as well. They've got 1 senior, and the rest are freshmen and sophomores.
Well, it's a hard sport too, Brent. I mean, golf is, I actually think it's like top 3, and it's not number 3 in sports.
It's a lot of technique.
And it's like a game of inches to a whole new level. I mean, you got Jenna Anderson scoring an eagle in the last tournament. An eagle is 2 under par, and par is the expectancy of how many shots it takes to get into the hole. So let's say a hole has a par 5, you're expected to make that hole in 5 shots.
Right.
So Jenna shot either a 3 on a par 5, or she shot 2 on a par 4, which is very, very good. And it's very exciting to see what they're going to do for the rest of the season with the tournaments coming up and coming to an end.
I'm excited.
After the break, we'll be back with a recap on Utah Tech basketball, the WAC basketball tournament, and a look into our drafts for March Madness.
It's official. Dixie State University is now Utah Tech University. Our Polytechnic focus combines active learning with career readiness in all of our 250 programs. As one of the fastest growing, most affordable, and safest universities in the country, Utah Tech was recently ranked as a top 10 arts and science college. So, join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
The Utah Tech men's basketball team finished up their season with a road loss against Stephen F. Austin University. With the loss, the Trailblazers' hopes at the WAC tournament came up short as they finished in 9th place in the WAC. Utah Tech had an overall record of 11 wins and 20 losses, marking this their worst year since becoming Division I. On a brighter note, Eric Demings was voted to the All-WAC freshman team. Demings started 25 of the 30 games and averaged 7.8 points, 2.1 rebounds, and 2.2 assists.
Blazers women's basketball meet their fate earlier than expected in the WAC tournament in Paradise, Nevada. UT Arlington knocked them out of competition with a score of 57-72. Brianna Gillen and Callan Dallas both had 21 points in the showdown, meaning they were responsible for 42 out of the 57 points scored. Overall, the Blazers had a very impressive season to boot, an 18-win, 14-loss record, as well as a 12-win, 8-loss record in WAC conference play. The WAC basketball tournament also concluded last weekend. Let's dive in. In the women's tournament, competing in the championship game was the number 1 ranked team, California Baptist, and the number 3 ranked team, Stephen F. Austin. After a back-and-forth battle, California Baptist became the WAC champions, winning the game by only 1 point. The final score was 75-74. With this win, California Baptist will also be competing in the NCAA tournament.
As for the men's tournament, it was a showdown between the number 1 seed and the number 3 seed, Grand Canyon and UT Arlington, with a perfect end to a 29 with 4 losses season. Grand Canyon took the WAC championship 89-74, and it's not over yet for the Lopes. They will take on St. Mary's tomorrow in Spokane, Washington in the first round of the NCAA tournament, which is AKA the March Madness. And you've got 16 games that are playing today. There's a couple going on right now, and then you've got 16 games being played tomorrow. And then on April 8th will be the championship game. Now, there's 64 teams competing and only 1 winner. Troy, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's kind of insane to think where March Madness started and where it's here now. And originally, back in the day, it was 16 teams only competing, and it's gradually made its way up to 64.
Wow, that expansion's crazy.
And the upsets in March Madness are nothing ever seen before. No one's ever made a verified perfect bracket. I just want to put that out there right now. We're going to show our brackets in a little bit, but just keep in mind, no one has made a perfect, like, ever. It's never happened in the history of being on planet Earth.
I think you're more likely to get struck by lightning than to win.
Probably, yeah, much more than that for sure. But a little fun fact is that UConn, the last year's NCAA tournament champs, they won it in 2023 and also in 2014, and they are the exception, the only top 3 seed both years to win the tournament without being a top 3 seed. In 2014, they were number 7 seed, and last year they were number 3 seed. So I think that's a pretty cool fact. But it's going to be a barn burner as usual, and I'm sitting there, sweating my picks, sweating my bracket all the time. So I mean, what do you have in your Final Four? What's it looking like?
I've got Duke, Baylor, UConn, and Peru, and in my Final Four, Purdue, sorry. And I've got Duke winning it all, and I know that might be a little controversial. They've got a young team. Their shooting guard, Jared McCain, he's a freshman, and their small forward, Tyrese Proctor, he's a freshman. But Duke, I feel like, is like Alabama in football. You can never count them out. They're just too good.
Well, I mean, that's true. They've always been a really good one. You know, my picks, I kind of screwed around with them. I'm not going to lie. So my Final Four, BYU, Florida, Tennessee, and Arizona. And right now, the BYU, they are losing by a lot. I believe it was 42-50 by 8 points. Yeah. So it's not looking good for my bracket, to say the least. So I hope they can pull it out, or my bracket's going to be broke on day one.
Day one, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's it for this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you here next week, same time, same place. Have a great week, Trailblazers.